You need more light, Justin?
Yes. Mary Ann, I'm so glad you're here. You're always my favorite scripture person. Do you have a Bible with you? Where you want to use mine?
Week.
Okay, you can use mine. That'll work. I'm glad you're here anyway, but this is like
I'm going to have to walk just a little bit closer.
All right.
There we go.
In Luke 22:48. If you don't mind.
22:48.
Yes.
You might see this. But Jesus said, Judas, would you betray the Son of Man with a kiss?
Say that again.
But Jesus said, Judas, would you betray the Son of Man with a kiss?
Ooh.
It's a very well-known verse, and a lot of people know about how it was completing the prophecy where Jesus told him, one of you will betray me.
That's right.
But a lot of people don't dive deep into it and think about the weight of that verse, of the fleshly side of Jesus and the hurt that he must have felt that his friend had betrayed him. No matter which way you cut it, the 12 disciples were his disciples, but they were his friends. They walked with him daily. And to look at him in the eye and say, will you betray me with a kiss? Which is normally an act of love. Knowing that his friend, his very close friend, had betrayed him, even though he knew it was supposed to happen, there was no doubt within my mind that that must have hurt him. So, knowing that Jesus, the one we worship, felt hurt in his heart, is knowing that it's going to happen to us. We're going to feel hurt sometime or the other. And it all depends on how you deal with your hurt in your life. If you let it overtake you or if you move past it. But it doesn't mean it's going to be easy. You can fight to give it to God in order for him to take it from you, or you can let it consume you. And too many people let it consume them.
That's right.
Right.
And it could be something that happened 20 years ago. It could be something that happened 5 minutes ago. It doesn't matter. But it's the hurt. And it displays differently than the guy beside you. But it's always hurt. Usually. I mean, my mother passed away 16 years ago. That still hurts me that on Mother's Day I don't have a mother to call on. Or on just regular days I don't have anybody to call on because my mother passed away. I don't talk about it. That doesn't mean it doesn't hurt me, but that's just an example. A lot of people are angry. That's how it presents itself as anger. But it's really because something that happened to them when they were 4 and 5 years old that hurt them, but they never got over it. So now their defense is to be angry about it. We have a tendency as humans to blame people for a condition. We have a tendency to blame God for something, when most often we get that from choices we made ourselves.
That's right.
Or
That's right.
sometimes we're going through a test, as I know when it's happened to me. On the outside looking in, it looked like either God had just moved away from me or was just allowing things to happen, but in reality, he was preparing me for what I was going to go through. Because the choices I made in my life were not the easiest path to walk. But I had to go through point A to get to point B. Without going through point A, I wouldn't have been able to make it to point B.
That's right.
So every step prepares you for the next day. So don't think that God's just giving up on you.
That's
He's
right.
preparing you with every step
Right.
you make. But also, if you've in a situation because of choices you made yourself, at least admit that and make the choice to move out of that situation. Because I had to do that within my own life. I was involved in things, and a lot of you heard the story that I made a deal with God where it says you have to do something in my life. I was already through my suicidal phase, but I still wasn't, my life wasn't fulfilled. And my life still felt empty. So I prayed to God and said, you have to do something. You have to do something to fix my life or show me you're here, because I didn't even feel Him in my life anyway. So you have to do something to show me you're here. And I made a deal with Him, because at the time when I had my seizures and whatnot, and I've been for a long time without driving, and I says, if you'll make where I can get my license back, I'll do what you want me to do. And I got my license back on the last day of April. I got my license back April 30th of 2018. In June of 2018 is when I came here and did my first escape. So, and I prayed that prayer in February, and in April I had my license back. And trust me, that's very, very quick to get through all the legal stuff, legal hurdles you have to jump through, where you're dealing with the DMV and Columbia and all that stuff. So God made a way, and He made a way, so now I'm keeping mine as a deal, because I said that's what's keeping me back, because I can't drive and I'm so depressed I can't go anywhere, and yada, yada, yada. But He never once gave up on His part.
That's right.
You know, as humans, we often give up on our part. When things get tough, when things get hard, or things don't go the way we think they should, we often want to give up. And I want to stress to you that it's okay to be sad.
That's right.
That's the thing that a lot of people won't tell you. They say you should be happy-go-lucky all the time. You know, it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to be frustrated, because I get that way all the time. Just don't stay that way. Don't stay locked up in that situation, because that's opening yourself up to the devil.
That's right.
He knows the way to get into your head. He'll use that.
That's right.
You believe me when I tell you. I don't care what it is. And everybody's different. They've got different triggers or different situations that set everything in motion. But if you open yourself up to anything that He can use, that's what He's going to use. If it's work, He's going to make your job harder for you. It's finances. All of a sudden, you're going to wonder where your money's going. I promise you. I know a lot of people, because I just have to be good with money. I know a lot of people that have financial trouble and constantly come to me talking to me about money and how to handle it and blah, 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 because I know about the big words they use in banks. And they have good jobs and they make good money, but for whatever reason they can't keep money. And it's probably because of stuff they're doing too, but whatever the devil can use. Then there's blame involved. Well, if it wasn't for this one, and I'd have money and blah, blah, blah. Whatever the devil can use, he's going to use against you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Do not ever underestimate him.
That's right.
Because I have. And it almost cost me my life. And that's another thing. When he knows what he's going to use, he knows what works against you. If you're fighting the same battle over and over, eventually you're going to get tired. And you have to ask yourself, when are you tired of fighting the same battle over and over? If you're doing the same thing every day, in the same rut, in the same situation with the same people, and it keeps on constantly coming out the same way, when are you tired of fighting that same battle? When are you going to say enough is enough and I want to change this? I don't know, it took me about 5 years to make that choice. Some people are still fighting it, and it's been 35 years for them.
That's right.
Some people never will make that choice. Some people will die saying,
It's true.
I'm going to do it.
That's right. It's true.
Don't let that be you. Because once you get tired, that's the old saying they used to tell us in boxing, and I'm sure in other sports too. But once you get tired is when you start to make mistakes.
That's right. That's right.
You lose your focus. And then it goes right back around to full circle. When you get tired, you lose focus, and you start to blame God and say, where are you at, God? Why aren't you fighting this battle for me? He's already given you a way out every other turn you're at. But you say, no, I want to do it my way. Yeah. It's so, so simple. But it's not, because as humans we have that pride and that ego
Mm-hmm.
to say, oh, I want to do it my way. Because you have a plan. Trust me, none of my plans involve me hitting that tree. Not one.
Amen. Amen.
Your life will change. In a split second, your life can change. And while I'm up here, like Jeff said at the beginning, I personally want to thank God for allowing me to be up here after hitting that tree, to still be walking, and to still have the ability to speak.
Amen.
For those of you that weren't able to come to the hospital, I know some of you did, and I appreciate that. I do not remember you being there. I appreciate it nonetheless. But I did almost bite my tongue in half, so for me to actually be able to speak is a very big blessing.
Amen.
And I personally believe that that was the devil's plan when I hit the tree. Because the main thing I do with this is speaking. And if I bite my tongue in half, I can't speak anymore. So you might hear me have a little lisp, you might hear me stumble over words, but at least I'm still speaking. That's the important part. So I want to thank God for that. And I want to thank all of you for the prayers you've given me and all the help you've given me since I've had the accident and everything. I want to have that on record now. But like I said, number one, I want to thank God for His help and His strength to allow me to get through everything and through all of my sickness and my illness and getting to the doctors and all that. I have just been able to see His greater plan through it all. But I also want to use that as another thing where I could have stayed bitter about hitting that tree and staying hurt like I did, because I was out of work for a month. I still got paid, but so what? You know, I was very, very hurt. I don't think that anybody would blame me for being just a little bit bitter about that.
Mm-hmm.
But Jeff actually sent me a text that evening. He may not remember sending me this text, but he sent me a text that evening and said, "Do not let the devil use this against you, because he will." And he was right. But, and I'm not up here trying to make myself look good, but that's honestly, once I finally got my bearings, because when I first woke up, I didn't know what day it was, who I was, you know, none of that stuff. But once I finally figured out who I was and all that good stuff, my first thought was, when can I get back on stage? And I knew it was going to be a while, but hey, I'm back on stage. That's the important part. And this escape that I'm going to show you today was actually what I was working on when I had the accident. That's how long this has actually been in play. I had been at Jeff's house that morning to discuss it with him. I don't think we had practiced it yet, and I don't think we had practiced it yet, but we had discussed it and outlined it and all that. And then that accident happened that evening. So
There was also a big date that night. You're leaving an important part out.
she's shy, didn't want to.
No, I'm sorry, but I wasn't supposed to say that, was it?
No, you weren't kidding.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Other Jeff edit this out of the video. Yeah, I was really upset about that. I was on a roll too, man.
You're good, brother. You're good.
But like I said, the devil can use all that. Like I said, when I had the accident, it wasn't just me getting hurt, and I didn't stay in the hospital long. I was in there maybe 2 or 3 days. I mean, I was hurt, but I didn't have a reason to stay in the hospital. I was just hurt. You know, they just told me I could go home. I just couldn't do anything. I mean, I walked with a cane for a long time. I mean, I had to have surgeries done on my tongue. I think I had 2, maybe 3 surgeries done on my tongue. I'm still missing a tooth. I was trying to deal with it because dental surgery is expensive, so it'll be okay. I just had to learn, to work with what I've got. Certain things I can't do anymore. But God always worked it out for me. But I could have been mad because, like I said, not only did I get hurt and lose my ability to speak for a long time, well, I could speak, but it was one-word answers, and you could definitely tell something was wrong with me. But I lost my truck. I think everybody knows how much I love that truck. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It was so awesome, guys. It really was. But it's gone. But I could have been bitter about that.
That's right.
You can choose how you want to
Amen.
feel.
Amen.
Like I said, it's okay to be sad, so don't think you have to fake being happy, because that's also, it's hard to do and people can see right through it. Don't fake being happy. If something upsets you, please tell somebody.
That's right.
Because you have to. Because if you just walk around putting on that fake happy, it's exhausting. And I'm very introverted, so.
What?
Yeah, I know. Good job. So, it's unhealthy. That's not where I can think of it. It's unhealthy to walk around pretending like nothing bothers you. It's okay to be sad, but just don't stay there. But remember, most importantly, ask God how you can handle a situation before you handle it. Always ask God what you need to do. And He'll show you the right way. And stay guarded, because the devil will always find his way into your head too. And you start to wonder, okay, is this God or is this the devil trying to tell me how I should feel, or how I should worry? And, you know, that's just another trick. I know people, I'm one of them, that if you're not worrying about something, you'll make up something to worry about. Yeah.
You got away this?
I mean, things will be going great. I'll be at work, things are going fine. I'll be thinking about stuff in my house. And I live alone, guys. I don't have any pets. What am I worried about at a house where nobody's in it? You know? Yeah. I'm really worried about like the house catching on fire for real. I unplug everything when I leave. I don't leave the microwave plugged up because the wire.
Yep.
Yep. Cell phone charger, man.
Oh no, there's no cell phone charger going up in there. No. No. You're funny. Leave a cell phone.
Yes, she is.
It was unintentional, I'm sorry.
That's an active current going through a cord, and me leaving it unattended. No. But see, when you worry, you're not focused on what you need to focus on.
That's it.
Number one thing, you remember in the old school war movies, they tell about, hey, focus, look, we're going here. But one guy wasn't paying attention. They said, hey, focus. And that was, when I was doing boxing training back in the day, that was the number one thing. If you weren't focusing, the guy would take it back as a glove and hit you in the face, say you would just been knocked out. Because you weren't focusing.
Yep. That's right. That's right.
Always stay focused, even in the spiritual sense. Because we are in a battle.
That's right.
And more important than any battle can be in on this earth.
That's right.
But we are blinded by our hurt. It's unattended. It's probably the number one thing to keep us out of focus. And God's the only one that can take you out of that hurt. You can't do it. Another person can't do it. A better job can't do it. More money can't do it. A title can't do it. Trust me.
That's right.
I've looked in all those places. As many of you know, it's a very rough upbringing. Very, very rough. I wish on anybody, but... And I stayed hurt about it for a lot of years. A lot of years. So I finally did something about it. And anybody out there, and anybody that watches this video, you do what you have to do to feel better. I don't care what anybody tells you. If you have to go see a counselor and people make fun of you, so what? It's not their business, it's not their life, it's not their head they're having to deal with. It doesn't matter. you're being a very proactive person by doing what you need to do by any means. Whatever you have to do to gain some kind of clarity, and it's breaking the cycle. Too many families have a cycle
That's right.
that they keep going, and nobody ever breaks it. You got to be the one that says, "I'm not going to do like the generation before me. I'm going to stop
Amen.
this."
Exactly.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen. Amen.
But it's not an overnight thing.
That's right.
Oh Lord, it's not an overnight thing. It's not an overnight thing. It's not an easy thing. But it is so worth it to be able to know that you didn't let the devil win, and that you stopped the cycle through the help of God.
That's right.
That's number one. Don't never think you did it by yourself,
That's right.
because you did not.
That's right.
And that's just what I'll implore everybody to understand is, with all these escapes and everything that I do it to show how God can use anybody through any talent, because I hear so much how people, oh, I can't sing, so I can't do anything, or I can't talk, or, I mean, anything. God can use any kind of talent. Look at me. I don't know anybody that's doing the things I do. But it doesn't have to be in this church. The world needs it more than the church. The church is people that already believe. There are people that don't believe. And ask yourself, are you done walking around with the hurt that's happened to you 15, 20 years ago? You want to lay it down? Because this is the place to do it.
That's right.
That's right.
It's the only place to do it.
Amen.
Once you leave here, you're on your own again. Unless you pray to God. Because like I said, work's not going to do it. Money's not going to do it. You can have all the money in the world, you're still going to be hurt. How many millionaires you know that are miserable people? Mm-hmm. That's not by accident.
That's right.
It's because money doesn't buy it.
That's right.
That's what I'm able to do. Despite the escapes and everything, just, if you have hurt, and I'm sitting here telling you, I was hurt worse than you can imagine. I mean, I'd be up here for days talking about everything in my life that hurt me. Well, we're just going to stick to the whole rough childhood thing. Rough childhood, and my mother passing. I don't know where my father is. I guess he's still alive. I don't know where he is, though. And a lot of different things in my adult life. I had not every right, but yeah, we'll go with that. I had every right to be hurt, and I was hurt. I walked around hating the world. I looked angry, but I wasn't angry. I was hurt, but that was my mask. And I thought, well, if you hate me, you won't get up close to me, so you can't hurt me again. And it worked. But I was by myself. That's not a good place to be.
That's right.
Remember, idle minds, the devil's playground? You might protect yourself from getting hurt, but that original hurt is still there. You got to find that original hurt.
Amen. Amen.
And it might be something happened to you when you were 4 years old. You might be 44 now, but you got to fix it.
Come on. There you go.
And it's okay.
That's right.
I respect you if you can do that. You can come down to this altar, and you don't got to tell anybody. Matter of fact, don't. Just between you and God. Pray to God to take this hurt from me. I don't want to feel it anymore. Because that's what I did. I loved my mother. She passed, but I loved my mother. I don't really have anything bad to say except, I wish she would have got us out of the situation, but she didn't actively contribute. But I will say this. I did have to pray to God and say, please help me not to hate my father anymore.
Amen. Amen.
Because Jeff can tell you, I'm talking about recently, Jeff can tell you there'll be times when me and him will talk about my father, and his words where you would become unhinged when talking about your father. And I didn't even realize it. But I still had that hatred for him, even though I thought it was dealt with. But I dealt with it in the counseling way, in the therapy way, in the way the world tells you should deal with it, with whatever, I didn't deal with the root problem, with the deep-seated thing. See, the deep-seated issue with me was that nobody wanted me. My father didn't want me. My thing was, why didn't you just, give me up for adoption? If I could see him, I'd probably ask him that. I really would. Because I know he didn't want me. But I never did face that. It was just, I was angry at him.
That's right.
But that's what kept me from doing a lot of things in my life. Teenage life, adult life, till recent years, was just when I was a kid thinking, well, my father's so mean to me and does all these things to me, he must not want me. As a kid, you're thinking your father is supposed to be the one to protect you, and he's causing you the most pain. So you're going to deduce that he must not want me. Then you get thinking, well, if he don't want me, nobody wants me. And I carried that for 30. I carried that for years. Over 20 years I carried that. I didn't know that's what it was. I just thought it was, because I talk to a lot of people. A lot of people I talk with, because, now I deal with people that are trying to get clean and sober now. A lot of them have bad childhoods. A lot of them. And I did when I was an addict. And that's not all of them. Over 80% of addicts have bad childhoods, and they're trying to escape from that. And I just thought, hey, it's what you do. You're angry, blah, blah, blah. I'm like everybody else. I had a bad childhood, angry, but the root of the problem was I never felt wanted, so I never felt like I belonged.
That's right.
So you got to find the real root.
That's
You
right.
can find a symptom of the problem, but not the real root.
That's right.
You cut yourself, you're going to bleed. You got to stop the cut. You can't just wipe blood off down here when you cut up here at your elbow. It's not. That's a symptom of the injury. You got to find the real root of the problem, and that's where you can fix it.
Amen.
Okay, Jeff, I'm ready for you. This has been a year in the making, over a year in the making of hurt's not easy. You can stay in it, or you can fight to get out. What choice will you make?
I didn't like the contest.
Draw a J on it.
Draw J. That's a you, dude. You got it first. No. Well, this is awkward.
Luke, I think you might like my phone. I'm not doing that. It's going to be a minute for us, so you got time.
Sailor dots.
I'm having pictures of
Who you were?
Lisa.
What did I do?
I don't know.
You're the first person he saw.
That's exactly right.
That's a good time.
Yeah, her for me is about it.
All right, Reverend. We did this before, Jeff?
You have no idea.
Yeah.
Being a youth pastor, you have no idea.
25 years working with teenagers, I've done worse.
Put them in trunks of cars.
Quit looking. We're having too much fun with this.
I grew up shoelaces.
Maybe I should have thought about where the camera was when I was doing this.
What camera?
Don't you? How could I cheat?
Don't cut the circulation off, man.
Oh, no, not yet.
Not yet, Marcia.
Anybody that wants to, please come pull on these knots. Please, somebody. More than one. Come on, guys. Get involved.
No, it's trust Tracy.
Good job, Johnny.
I'm an expert.
They taught you well, right? They taught you well.
Maybe not.
Is that fair? Tied up, there's no gimmicks.
Tell us when to play the music.
I will, give you time. Just a show, man.
It's not your line. He will.
The hurt's real. Other people might not be able to see it. It's like you can't see my hand behind my back, but they're killing me. But if you don't find a way to get out of it, it'll destroy you. Just like if I don't get out of these, I'll lose blood circulation in my extremities. You got to find a way to get out of that, no matter how bad it hurts you, because this is going to hurt me. But you can get out, no matter how hopeless this looks, because you just saw people come over and look at these and say there's no way he's going to get out. We'll see. We will. Okay, good.
Again, I want to thank you all. I want to thank God for allowing me to be back on stage. It's very emotional to be back on stage after the accident and everything. But again, this is just how I convey my message. You can see my arms, see how they're all cut up and marked. Going through the hurt's not going to be easy. You're going to have your marks, you're going to have your cuts, you're going to have your bruises, you're going to have your scars. They're always going to stay with you. But you're still here. I'm still here. I'm still standing. You're still going to be here. You're still going to be standing.
That's right.
No matter what you have to fight through. Fight through no matter what. You'll make it through whatever. I promise you, with God's help, He can take you through whatever you're going through. I promise you.
Right.
I guarantee you. Thank you. God bless you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.